Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we were talking about the New York Rangers and the rather odd, confusing, and baffling rumors that we have seen over this past 24 hours over the internet regarding their key winger prospect in Vitali Kravtsov. Kravtsov, what is this rumor exactly? Is there any substance to it? Where is it coming from? What teams are possibly connected to him? And who exactly is he overall, and how has he been developing this year? Make sure you stay until the end of the video, find out all that and more regarding Vitali Kravtsov and these rather confusing rumors, and if there's actually some substance. And also make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you end up enjoying this kind of hockey content, guys. It would mean an absolute ton. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. Now, if you're a Rangers fan watching this, you're probably like, Tyler, how is Vitali Kravtsov possibly on the trading block, let alone being connected to one of the Rangers' biggest rivals, and yes, the Pittsburgh Penguins? I'm asking myself the same thing, but that's what we're going to try to break down in today's video. And where exactly did this stem from? Well, over the past 24 hours I've been seeing, I know I'm a little late to the game regarding this, but I needed a video in its own right because I'm a Rangers fan especially. But Kravtsov, in an interview with Tractor, which is the team that he plays for in the KHL, was asked a couple questions, some rather interesting ones, and one of them was his thoughts and stance on the trade rumors that he's been connected to with the Pittsburgh Penguins, to which he had no comment or reply, rightfully so. Normally players don't discuss these type of things, and especially him playing in a different league right now, that's the last thing on his mind, I'm sure. And he was also asked a couple more things. Does he see himself having a future in North America with the New York Rangers? To which he replied, basically summarizing that yes, well, I haven't discussed anything with my agent, haven't in quite some time, so it's really not the best fit nor the right time to be discussing this regarding another league going North America. And then he was also asked his stance on basically the New York Rangers and if he feels that he actually has a future with them in particular, to which he expanded on saying that he knows the type of players in front of him, the depth that the Rangers have on the winger front. So he basically said that nothing's going to come easy. He's aware of the current situation with the Rangers in their lap, and that also goes in hand with why the Rangers are not going to be having him to start off training camp, because he's going to be finishing the season in the KHL. That's what all the reports have been, and that is what he confirmed that he's known for quite some time. So with that all being true, with the depth that the Rangers currently have on the winger front, that I will break down shortly, how does this connect them to possibly putting one of their more coveted prospects, the former first round draft pick back in 2018, 9th overall? I was ecstatic when the Rangers got him because I actually did some research on him a couple months prior to the draft. While everyone wanted Oliver Wahlstrom, I was really happy to see Kravtsov get selected, and he has had some great progression over this past year. All the more reason to make you wonder, how could he be in a trade rumor with the Pittsburgh Penguins, a team that doesn't have anything significant on the forefront that you think the Rangers would be interested in? The Rangers, the one main thing that they're lacking in their roster currently and in their prospect pool combined is center depth. The Rangers don't have anything great. They have really strong winger depth. They have strong defensive depth, because I know that left side defense doesn't look great going into next season, but they have a great prospect pool with guys like Keandre Miller, Tarmo Ronanen, Zach Jones, Matthew Robertson, a lot of great young left-handed defensemen that are going to come into the lineup and compete for a spot over these next couple years. So that's okay. I'm not worried about that. The center depth is the only argument. So how could Kravtsov be connected to them? That's the biggest what if, and that's what we're going to continue to break down. But who exactly is Vitali Kravtsov, first, for people wondering and don't necessarily know how he's done thus far and have done in previous years in the KHL and the AHL? Well, I'm about to tell you. Well, the 6'3" right winger, 189 pounds. He has a left-handed shot as well, so you can really get a great shot off in the right-handed dot as a lefty, whether it's 5-on-5 or on the power play. No less. In the AHL this past year, and he also played in the KHL and the VHL. He played in 3 leagues in the 2019-2020 season. But in the KHL to start off, in 11 games played, he had 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. He was then sent down to the VHL for a little bit, which he had some better numbers, but really not a great start. But also in the AHL, when he came to North America, that's where really things started to pick up. And 39 games played, he had 15 points, including 6 goals and 9 assists. Now, I know those numbers aren't wowing. He had a very slow start to his transition into North America last season, but as the year went on with the Hartford Wolfpack, he made some great strides, and that was very good to see. But when it comes to how he played in the 2018-2019 season, just to give you some more familiarity with him, in the KHL in 50 games played, he had 21 points, including 8 goals and 13 assists. Not bad. This shows some progression that we're seeing, especially hitting North America this past year, is fantastic. And thus far in the 2020-2021 season, playing with Tractor, which is the best team he's ever played with in the KHL versus years prior, because they actually have some good veterans with some NHL experience on that roster, including Pontus Aberg, who has been a fringe NHLer at times, really hit his peak early in the AHL, it would seem. and was dominant at the AHL level. And I believe his rights are currently under contract with the Pittsburgh Penguins, no less. So that's interesting. But in 22 games played, 8 goals, 3 assists for 11 points. He's off to a phenomenal start in the KHL this year, scoring back-to-back goals and like back-to-back games. It was ridiculous. Then he got an injury, was out for basically a month, came back, scored shortly after he came back, but then he's kind of been on a dry spell as of late. But all the opportunities have been there. He's just been a little snake bitten, I would say, but he's been gaining increased opportunities. He's been probably the most dominant forward, I would say, for Tractor, has been phenomenal in the KHL to start this year, which is so nice to see. And also to give you some more touch on his game back in 2019, the World Junior Championships, he had 6 points in 7 games, including 2 goals and 4 assists. Really strong numbers for Team Russia. So again, how does this make any sense for a guy like him who has great playmaking ability, has really come into his own with his goal scoring to start off this year in the KHL, which is something that the Rangers didn't originally draft him for. He was great. He's getting the nit and gritty. He's throwing off some great hits. He's using his body more to his advantage. He's really looking more like a man out there. He's an elusive skater. He's so deceptive with the puck in the offensive zone. He can get in the nit and gritty in front, get a goal in the crease, need be. He can get a tip in, deflection, whatever it's going to be. He can snipe the puck. He can deke you out. He has some smooth dangles from this year in the KHL especially. Everything this guy's been doing in the KHL in the offensive zone has been phenomenal. So more reason as to why could he be traded? Well, I think it's a pipe dream, and I think you should be taking it with a grain of salt, because I know I am. But how is he connected, of all teams, to the Pittsburgh Penguins? That's the biggest question here today, because when we look at the Penguins, they don't have a deep prospect pool, especially regarding their center depth. Their best center prospect up until these past couple months was Philip Hollander, which is the only argument I think you can maybe make for some type of hypothetical trade. But Hollander was part of the trade with the 2020 15th overall first round pick in return for Kasperi Kapanen, which the Leafs definitely won that trade. I don't think anyone's denying that as of now. So Jim Rutherford, he's been very suspect, because could the Rangers be in talks with him possibly? So they think they can maybe take advantage of a guy like Jim Rutherford, who has been on the wrong end of trades, I would, for the most part, over this past year. Possibility. We know Jeff Gorin, he is crazy like that at times in a good way. He's definitely a shark out there hunting, but again, even when you know Vitali Kravtsov, he knows the wingers in front of him. He made that abundantly clear in the interview. He knows that the Rangers' right wing currently is Pavel Buchnevich, Kaapo Kakko, Jesper Fast is gone, unfortunately. But then we have Julian Gauthier and possibly Kevin Rooney on that right wing. So the depth is there, and Kravtsov knows he will not have an increased role in that top 6, top 9 really anytime soon as of now, unless, say, Julian Gauthier falters and doesn't really do much in an increased role next season. If Kaapo Kakko, say, doesn't develop as expected, whatever it may be, but that seems a slim to none chance of actually coming to fruition on that front. Then the left wing, you have Chris Kreider, you have Artemi Panarin, you have Alexei Lafreniere. They already have to deal with that abundance of left wingers. Then you have Brendan Lemieux as well. Philip Hedl, he's played the wing at times, but he's more so a center as of now. A lot of winger options for the Rangers. They have a plethora of that. So Kravtsov's aware of that. So if the Rangers really aren't in a situation where they feel like Kravtsov won't have an increased role in this lineup, or at least enough to further help his development over the next couple of years, that is a good idea to justify trading him. Fine. If that is the case, why would you trade him or even fathom the idea of trading him to a rival in the Pittsburgh Penguins that doesn't have anything that matches up? The only couple guys that would make somewhat sense to me, and again, really doesn't, they wouldn't be centers. A couple of defensemen come to mind. It's Marcus Pettersson, the 24-year-old defenseman who was originally traded from the Anaheim Ducks in the Daniel Sprong trade a couple years ago with the Pens. Pettersson has really been strong for the Pens. He had 22 points last season, I believe. He has 5 years left on a contract of just over $4 million, and he has a modified no-trade clause starting the 23-24 season. Not bad, but still wouldn't make sense, because the Rangers do have young up-and-coming defensemen that are going to need roles in that lineup over the next couple of years, and Pettersson would be in the way of things on that left side, even with taking Brendan Smith out of the equation after the year's end, for instance. But then when you get to other guys as well, whether it's Brian Dumoulin, that doesn't make much sense. 29-year left-handed defenseman. He's been so injury prone. He's really solid when healthy, but he hasn't been healthy for multiple years now, and that wouldn't make sense. He has 3 years left at a cap hit of around $4 million as well. And then when you look at the only forward, Jake Gensel is the only guy that stands out to me, and it wouldn't make sense for either side. The Penguins have one of the best bona fide goal scorers in the entire NHL, Gensel. Why would you trade him with a team that's in a win-now stage for just a couple more years? That doesn't make sense. Gensel, 26 years of age, right winger, center, left winger, can play both sides of the wing. Not something the Rangers need unless they're now going into, say, more of a out of the rebuild, more so into a competing now. That's an argument to be had, but I don't believe the Rangers are going in that direction. They've done nothing to indicate such. That's why they didn't do anything significant in free agency either. They're still at least a year away from doing anything to kind of add some more established players in that lineup that can really benefit them for years on end, I would say, in return for a key prospect like Kravtsov, no less, because we all know the story with Gensel. He had over 40 points. He had 43 points in 39 games, including 20 goals, 23 assists, and this past year, dealing with injury, he was on a great pace. The year prior, he had 76 points, his career high year, including 40 goals and 36 assists. This guy is definitely a 40-goal scorer. He was on pace this past year up until his injury. Has 46 points in 45 career playoff games. He's a goal scorer. We know this. He scored his first career NHL goal against a guy like Henrik Lundqvist, no less. I remember watching that game, but seriously, that's a pipe dream. It's not happening. It doesn't make any sense for both sides. So, again, the Rangers are going to toy with the idea of trading Vitali Kravtsov. Why would they go with the Penguins? If they're going to trade him away, it would make sense to go for a team that has an established center now that's still on an RFA contract, for instance. Take Philip Deneau from Montreal just as an example. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm not saying there's a reason for it to happen. I'm just using it as an example right now. That's something you have there to maybe be part of a trade. Or you have Anthony Cirelli from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay, maybe that's an idea as well. Those actually make some sense for the Rangers should they go down that path. Going for the Pittsburgh Penguins, whose top prospect currently is Sammy Poulin, who's a winger, not a center, doesn't make sense. And Kravtsov is better than Poulin. So these things do not add up to me. And I want to know your thoughts in the comments below as always, guys, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. The Rangers have not even $900K in cap space, including the bonus cushion penalty. That's roughly $4 million. So Kravtsov, if he gets a certain amount of games next season in the NHL, same thing with Keandre Miller and others, he would have a AAV next season of 1.8 mil. The Rangers are probably trying to avoid that, so I don't see him getting any significant playing time in the NHL next year. Probably just a cup of coffee towards the end of the season, if I had to assume. Again, I could be wrong. It all depends on how things pan out, barring any trades or whatever it may be. Still, though, in this situation that the Rangers do in fact shop Vitali Kravtsov, the Pittsburgh Penguins do not make any sense, and that's why you should take that rumor with a grain of salt, and that is why I am as well. I'll keep it in the back of my head in case of any further investigation, but nothing has prevailed since then. So I'll let you know in the description down below where you can check out this article. It'll probably be in Russian, but I could see if I can get it from a separate article that translated for you. But still, let me know your thoughts. As always, guys, it means a ton. And again, I'm simply baffled by this trade idea, and the fact that he was actually asked in an interview does make you believe that maybe there is some substance to it, but who knows? Thank you so much for watching, guys. It means a ton. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy this kind of hockey content. Check out my previous Ranger videos. I will have a playlist right down here for you regarding the New York Rangers, regarding all my previous New York Ranger videos, because I have discussed them more than any other team on the channel as a New York Rangers fan through and through. And check out my other previous videos regarding the prospects, regarding the top 20 NHL prospects, because I don't know, you might find Vitali Kravtsov in there. So just some things to point out. Check out other previous videos. Check out more videos coming along the way. I'll be discussing another New York Ranger, Niels Lundqvist, in my next video, breaking down the top 10 NHL defensive prospects out of the entire league, and I'll have that up within a couple hours after posting this. But thank you all so much, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Give me some hypothetical trades you could see, if any. Do you feel confident about Kravtsov being traded? Do you think there's any substance here? Do you want to see him trade? Do you not? I don't. I know you probably don't, unless maybe you're a Penguins fan. But let me know your thoughts as always, guys, and I'll be back real soon.